A really awesome feature set from threejs is the fact that it can do post-processing. And this is really nice because you can add a bunch of interesting effects that happen after all of the rendering. So to use this in AR, there is a few alterations that you need to make, although it's actually fairly minimal. So we'll go over those and then we'll show you how you can actually introduce things like bloom, depth of field, and after images into AR scenes. So we'll be able to use augmented reality in combination with those. And some of them actually have some really cool visuals. So in particular, I find bloom to be pretty awesome. The fact that you can just do that processing on the fly. Just to be clear, I did exaggerate quite a few of these so that the effects were more visible. It's also exciting because most of these work really well with AR out of the box. So things like the after image path will actually blur images as you move your camera around and move it back and forth. So because it's linked to the camera and the camera is actually what's doing the after images. And it's always exciting when you can get some extra abilities working out of box. So one of the limitations that comes up with post-processing in webxr is that in the simplest case, you are just post-processing the AR object. And so that means that things that are in the camera image behind are not going to be post-processed. So if you wanted to do some sort of color grading or other type of thing with the image behind it, you can't do that in a simple way. And there are more complicated ways that you should be able to do this, and I will look into those into the future, but it's not as simple because you need to do something where you capture the camera image and then you have to put it onto a plane behind. And so it takes a little bit more work. So we're not going to be focused on that today. So the post-processing pipeline in threejs is basically you introduce a composer, the composer you add some passes to, and then those passes you render out. And so one of the issues that comes up when you're using webxr is that it actually has some problems rendering the orthonormal cameras. And so in order to make these work, you have to step outside webxr during the rendering process and then step back in. So you have to add in these kind of tags before and after each path. And so it's a slight modification, but once you do that, then everything functions pretty normally. So quite a few of the passes don't expect a transparent background, and so we need to do some alterations with them. And for the most part, this just involves changing some alpha channels so that there is some see-through. The other issue is that a lot of these passes, if they have full transparency, will not actually show anything. So things like bloom, actually you need to change the alphas a little bit. And so that means that there's going to be some opaqueness to it, so it's going to darken your scene somewhat. And it does change the lighting quite a bit too, so you might have to consider those things as well. So the demo should be in the description. They should work on any Android if it's using Chrome, and I hope you try them out. Have a good day.